to share the knowledge and information to answer any questions that you all may have. You know what I mean? So, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that because that ain't how I want it. So, may have to crop it. We'll figure it out, but we'll just leave it like that for now. So, I wanted to start, giving time and just sharing the knowledge and information that I have. So today in the live stream, we're going to talk about where to get started with LabEveryday. I get this question a lot, and I understand it, because when I first started, I started with Packet Tracer, and I'm sure many of you started in the same place, but there's people out there that weren't exposed and have not been exposed to Packet Tracer. So the reason why and the reason how I got started with Packet Tracer was through NetAcad, Cisco Networking Academy. I took a college course, and in that course, they had me download Packet Tracer. And actually, this was at like DeVry back, I don't know, 10 years ago when I got out to military. So it was on one of the early versions of Packet Tracer, and it was trash. You know what I mean? It's involved so much, and it's so much better now. The functionality is a lot closer to real world than it used to be. So Packet Tracer is a tool that you can actually use to learn networking. You know what I mean? So what I want to do in this video is kind of talk about that and talk about how you can get it and answer the questions that you may have. So what you're looking at here is LabEveryday.com. We'll start there. This is like the one-stop shop of everything I share. If you're looking to contact me, email me at info@labeveryday.com, and I'll hit you up, or just send an email on the site and I'll reply back. Sign up for the mailing list. Check out the blog. There's a lot of helpful information that I'm going to be posting and have been posting on the blog. So I've been putting in a lot of work. Feel free to come check it out. Let me know. Provide your feedback. And then as well, I got a forum section. There's a lot of us that want to get together and have discussions on information technology topics. And so I created a forum where you can come in, we have a discussion, and the world can see it. And members of the site can go in and conversate about, the recent tech changes in the industry, things you've been thinking about doing with your career, or just technology trends that you're seeing and you want to discuss. So come check it out. And then as well, the merch, of course, I got LabEveryday merch. Feel free to check that out. I got stickers, I got mugs. Everything that you may want pretty much is on the site. So that's all good. And then as well, if there's a certification that you're looking for, I probably have some information on how you can achieve that certification. So this I have, I just click CompTIA right now. So A+, it'll take you to the exam topics where you can download that, the books that's recommended, videos is recommended on those courses. Everything is pretty much here. So come check it out. Let me know what you think. Provide feedback. And then as well, if you weren't on the last live stream yesterday, I created a bot using Python. And the bot is called LabEveryday Bot. If you on the live stream right now, send a tweet to LabEveryday Bot, and it'll give you a reply. If you use the hashtag LabEveryday, you'll see something really cool. So tweet the bot and then tweet it with the hashtag LabEveryday and watch what it sends you. So, and then as well, the bot will retweet the hashtag LabEveryday. So if you're posting in hashtag LabEveryday, the bot will retweet you. So it's pretty cool. But check this out. Even cooler, I put the code on GitHub for you to be able to download. Check out my Twitter. The link is in the Twitter where you can find the GitHub for the bot, where you can actually contribute to the code for the bot. This is all the Python code. So if you're looking to learn Python, here's a cool way for you to get started. And in the last video, I actually explained the code from top to bottom. It's about 388 lines of code. And growing. Actually, I'm going to make it smaller and more condensed, because these variables that I have here, I'm actually going to take those and put those in a JSON format. And Nick Russo, shout out to him, he actually kind of suggested that, because I was kind of thinking of put them in a class and put them in another module. But he's like, no, just put them in a JSON and call the JSON, import it to your Python script, and then execute your code. So I'm like, yeah, you're right, man. So let's do it like that. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be code I'll be pushing out here soon. Shout out to the 973. All right, so we talked about that. The next thing I want to talk about is, matter of fact, before we even keep going, let's answer some questions. Any questions that you all may have. What's everybody working on in out there in the industry? Rate of perceived dead. Shout out to Illinois family. Chicago in the building. All right, so Albie said he's scheduled his ICND 2 next week. Hey, good luck, family. What you using to study? It's fire. Got to get my greens in every morning. I'm drinking my daily celery juice. It's got like a squeeze of lemon. It's not bad. It's not that bad. It's supposed to be pretty good for you. So I've been drinking this lately. Trying to be a little more healthier. You know what I mean? All right, so where to get started when we talk about Packet Tracer? Well, the first place you download Packet Tracer is going to be Netacad. But I went to Netacad today. I guess they're kind of redoing it. So I'll have a link in the description where you can go to Netacad and you can download Packet Tracer. If you've never seen Packet Tracer, let me see if I got it on this computer. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to pull up Packet Tracer real quick and just give you a quick walkthrough of Packet Tracer while we're online before we move on, because I'm going to give you a lot of resources that you can actually use to learn to be a network engineer. There's a ton of resources out there. So let's put this over here. So this is Cisco Packet Tracer. If you've never seen it, this is it. And I'll have a link, like I said, on how to download it. I actually done a couple videos on how to set it up and some labs you can actually do in Packet Tracer. So when we're looking at Cisco Packet Tracer, it's a simulated environment. It's not an emulated environment. It's a simulated environment. So you're going to have a lot of functionality that routers, switches, wireless access points, wireless routers actually have, but you're not going to have full functionality like that layer 2 switching application, ASIC switching. That's something that's not simulated in Packet Tracer. But I'm hearing in the new version they have actually put an automation in there, so that seems to be pretty cool. But basically, what you do is you take routers. That's a router. Here's a switch, and then you take desktops, and then you connect them. So if you know about how to connect a computer to a switch, that's going to be a Cat 5 connection, Cat 6 connection, straight through. Same thing from a switch to a router, Cat 5, Cat 6. They even got Cat 7 now, straight through to a router. And you will have connectivity. So if I open up the computer and I set this to, let's keep it simple. I just do DHCP. I should be able to grab a DHCP, which is a dynamic host, was a control protocol, was a dynamic, what is DHCP? I'll be forgetting the acronym. So yeah, dynamic host configuration protocol. So the door process will happen right here in Packet Tracer. So if I pull this up and I turn on the router, it'll pull up a CLI, just like you're in a router or a switch. So if I pull up my secure CRT, this is what it looks like when I'm in my switch, right? Now if we compare this to Packet Tracer, compare the two, it's probably better if I pull up the switch. So, or if I get in my router. Let me get in my router. Hold up. It'll be easier. All right, so we're in my router now. So if I press enter and I hit no, my router will come up. Now we look at packet tracer and we hit enter. It's gonna say router, right? You're gonna watch my router, my physical router, do the same thing. And we can kind of just compare the two just to show you it's pretty much the same. So my physical router is letting me know what's connected to my device. It's going through loading the startup configuration. And here's my router. So if we compare the two, same thing. Show IP interface brief to look at the interfaces on the devices. And by default, router interfaces are administratively down off the box. So these interfaces are down. It lets me know the type of interfaces I have. If you look at my router here, I do a show IP interface brief. I might have configuration. All the interfaces are down. Same thing. So this is packet tracing. You simulated an environment. So if I come in here and I believe I'm connecting on, I just bring all the interfaces up. So no shut. Interface comes up. The same notification you see here. This severity level 5, which is a notification to let me know, notify me that something changed in my network. My interface is up. If I do the same thing over here, and I'm connected on, I don't have any connection, so, but it's gonna let me know at layer 1, my interface is up. So if I go interface fast seeking at 0 and I do a no shut, you're gonna see that same message here in a minute. Boom, same message. But here's a level 3. So a severity level 3, which is an error. Because, and the reason why it's an error is because my layer 2 is down. So if I do, actually layer 1 and layer 2 is down. So, because I don't have anything connected to it. So I bring it up, but it's letting me know that layer 1 is up, but layer 2 is down. So that's why I got the error. Now, if we come over here to Cisco Packet Tracer, show IP interface brief. Oh, you know what? I do got something in that interface. So this says up. And if we do a show CDP neighbors, let's see if we're connected to the switch. We are connected to the switch. So we're up at layer 1 and layer 2. So same thing, same notifications, let you know something is connected and we have connectivity to our device. So that's packet tracer. Now, if I configure an IP address on that interface, let's do that. So interface gigabit/0, let's do IP address. And we're just gonna get this network connectivity up. So we'll do 1.1 and then 255.255, which is /24 just to get it up. It's already no shut, so it's good to go. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to assign a DHCP address for that PC to be able to get an IP address. So we'll do DHCP exclusion because we don't want to assign a .1. The routers will do that. So it'll assign its own IP address, and that's annoying. So you got to go ahead and just do the exclusion, and we'll just do the exclusion for that one IP address. And then we'll do the DHCP pool. We got to name it, and let's call this LabEveryday. LabEveryday pool, go in here, give it a default router. Boom, now we assign a network, and we'll do 10.1.0 and then /24. Well, on a router, you can actually, a physical router, you can actually do that. But on here, it wants to, if I can type, boom. Now, if I was to go over here to this router, I'll show you the difference. This is an actual physical router. So if I do DHCP pool, and I do LabEveryday, and I do default router 10.1.1.1, and then I do network 10.1.1.0, I can actually do /24, but you can't do that in packet tracer, and that's what I'm telling you. There's things that you can't do in packet tracer that aren't simulated the same as Cisco iOS, a real Cisco version of a router. So, but there you still can do DHCP. So now we go over to the PC, walking you through just a quick network configuration. I should have an IP address. Boom. I have an IP address right now. And so if I go over to the PC and I'll pull up, also program is built in here. You can actually see program. Okay. So even in the version that I have of Packet Tracer, let's go to help. So about Packet Tracer, the version that I have is 7.1.0. So you can actually do some network programmability in here because it does have IoT. So Packet Tracer, you can configure routers, configure switches, configure ASAs, you can configure wireless, and then you can also do some coding in Packet Tracer. So yes, you can start with Packet Tracer. Now let's go back to the desktop and close this out. And let's send a ping just to verify we have connectivity. Let's do a ping. Let's see, can we do -T? And then 10.1.1.1. And so ping -T is a continuous ping. So we'll just keep pinging on this device. And the reason why I did that is I would like to see, just so we can see how it actually works. See if it really does what it's supposed to do. So if we go into that interface and we do a no shut or a shut it down, let's see what the computer does. That ping should drop. Ping stops. See them timeouts? So you can actually simulate a network and what happens in a network in Packet Tracer. So it gives you a lot of flexibility because you can do HSRP. You can learn that in Packet Tracer. So if you're looking for a place to start, Packet Tracer, which is a free Cisco application, you can start. And people have got their Ccna from here. Like I mentioned before, it's not the same as using a real world environment, but it is a simulated environment so you can get a basic understanding of how a network functions. So that's just a quick walkthrough of what Packet Tracer offers. And like I said before, it has routers, it has switches, it has hubs, it has wireless access points, wireless routers, and then it also has ASAs. So if I was to put a firewall out here and connect the router to a firewall, that's going to be another straight through cable. I should have put it on one. Anyway, and if we pull out the CLI on the ASA and go in here, the password is going to be blank. Now we're in the ASA. It doesn't have ASDM. And if you're working on your Ccna security, ASDM is in those exam objectives. So that's a functionality that you won't be able to prepare for, but you can understand how to configure an ASA. And when I'm in ASAs, I'm on CLI. Everybody that I know in the industry pretty much is in the CLI on the ASA. Now, I have worked in environments where I could go into ASDM, but mainly that's the view, for just the view, because I can't access the CLI. So they give me ASDM viewership access. I can go in there and see what's being denied, what's being blocked, or what's being allowed through the firewall. But other than that, when the configuration happens, it's 9 times out of 10, it's going to be in the CLI. So getting in Packet Tracer, pulling up an ASA, doing some outside-inside configuration, understanding how ASA, it's a 5505, understanding how those function, because they actually function different than a normal ASA, meaning that it uses the VLAN approach. So show VLAN, and it does VLAN. So if I do a show run, let's look at show run. So if you look at your interfaces, you actually assign them to a VLAN. And then you can put multiple interfaces in the VLAN, however you want to set it up. But it still uses the security levels as well. So that's Packet Tracer. Let me get to the chat. Let me check out some questions. See how y'all doing this morning. Pull up the chat. Morning, Lab Family. What's up, Jay Murray? What's popping? Daryl Banks, that Ccnp route. He out here crushing it. Jay Brown, what's good? Jack, what's popping? This nice, my dude, with the morning live sessions. We're going to call this set the standard. Man, hey, let's get it popping. If y'all got questions, especially when I'm in devices, let me know. Put them in the chat. Don't hesitate. There's no dumb question. Because just like I forgot the acronym for DHCP and I had to Google it, I don't know everything and I don't even try to know everything. Because not only do we have access to Google, but we have the ability to take notes. And so I don't act like I know everything, and I don't want to be the person that knows everything. I want to be the person that's always learning and be the person that's always willing to share that knowledge as well. So when you are on jobs, when you're in interviews, embrace the, you're here to learn and you're here to give what you know approach. That's what I do, and it seems to work for me, and it works for a lot of other people I know too. So, William, what's popping? How did you get the colors in the router? Yo, let's go to Google real quick, and I'm gonna show you. So, the application I'm here because I get this question a lot. All right, so this is called Secure CRT. I did a video on it on my YouTube channel. Let me pull up. All right, so let's go to Google. Let's highlight Google real quick, and we're gonna pull up Secure CRT colors, and there should be a nah, this ain't it. Actually, let me go to this will go to my YouTube, man. So youtube.com. Let's go to my page. Go to my page. So we go to my videos, and let's see my videos. I know I got it in here. All right, so I had this video and I put it in the chat, so I'll kind of walk you through all that. But I'll also give you the link where it's at. So in here in the description, colorize your Secure CRT. I put it right here in the description. And I'll put it in here for y'all in the chat where y'all can actually set up your Secure CRT the same way. But basically, all you do is download this INI file, and then you save it where it tells you to save it. Then you change this keywords to Cisco words, and then it will colorize your Secure CRT. And you can actually edit this how you want, but like keywords like down. When you're in a router, when you're in a router, one of the issues that you'll find is like, let's say you're in an ag device or something and it's got a whole bunch of interfaces. You need to know real quick what's down. So if your Secure CRT is set up like this, down is going to be red. Something simple. And then you can actually do like your IP addressing scheme or something. You can colorize that so it'll stand out. You'll know what's your device and what's not your device when you're, let's say, troubleshoot WAN connections or, prefix lists or something like that. So it's pretty cool to set it up like that. And like I said, I'll put that in the description along with the link to my video that kind of walk you through the basics of Secure CRT. Because Secure CRT gives you a lot of functionality. Like if you look down here, let me exit. So if I push this button here, watch what happens. It sends a command to the device. Let me see if I can edit. So you can edit buttons. So the command I just put right here is show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned IP addresses. So as you can see, I don't have any interfaces with an IP. But if I was to come over here and go to, I think I used 10.10.10 yesterday. So if I was to go over here and go gigabit 0/0, I believe, and I give it in that, no, it's faster than that, my bad. I'm still in packet traces. So if I was to go in here and get this an IP address, I used 10.10.10 yesterday, so let's keep that. Boom. No shut. It's still gonna be down layer 2, but if I was to do, man, don't log in. No. Look, man. God, I knew you were doing. No. All right. Hold up. Let me do a couple things because if I'm being this device, no IP domain lookup. All right, cool. And let me go into the card and do a login synchronous. Line con 0 and login synchronous. All right, so now we won't have any more interruptions. Now, if I do click this button, it's going to show me the up interfaces. So a lot of times in a NOC, and that's where I actually saw when I went and talked to some NOC engineers one day, and they had a whole bunch of buttons down here. And I'm like, oh, what? How you get your secure CRT to look like that? And they was like, oh, these are just shortcuts that we use. And for you that are learning this, I don't recommend you create these shortcuts because you won't know what commands to use when you're looking for an issue in a device and you're on the exam or in an interview. Because if you're constantly using these buttons, if you walk into a NOC and someone comes over and set these buttons up for you and tells you to just click these buttons, what are you learning? A lot of times people get used to just clicking buttons but not understanding the commands behind those configurations. So for those of you that are advanced, yeah, go ahead and create the buttons. But for those of you that's learning, stay away from the buttons. That's just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. Do what works for you. Hey, you're welcome, William. What's happening, Rome? Okay, so Rome's saying if you're going to set up this, you're going to have to be an admin to set that up, to set up the Cisco words on your secure CRT. Gate Lane, what's popping? Jack, he says, yeah, hey Daryl, share them tools, man, that you use to study, man. You never know who's working on that Ccnp. Thanks, bro. Matter of fact, hey Daryl, I just made you a moderator, bro. Xander Petty, what's poppin', Daryl? I got here late. Did you get your Ccnp? William, thank you. I'm back to work now. Hey, cool. All right, fam. Have a good day at work. We're live. Okay, cool. Man, hey, everybody working on that Ccnp route. That's what's happening. All right, so we talked about packet tracer and where to get it. Cisco Networking Academy, download it there. But next, before we get to DevNet, let's talk about GNS3. Do I got that on my computer? I do. So, GNS3. This is a emulated Cisco environment. So, or virtual, whatever you want to call it. And it might not even come up on my device. It is going to come up. So, let's just call this test. Nope. Nope. Please create project. Come on, man. Blank project. Untitled. Alright, so here's GNS3 in a nutshell. If you're working on your Ccnp or, man, anything like that, this is where you go. Like, this is where I started. This is how I got really involved in this. And I don't even think I have it set up with any configurations in here. Let me see. Let's go to, what is it, settings? It's been a minute since I used this, preferences. Alright, so what you have to do is actually go in here to Dynamics and the iOS router. So I have a 720 in here. So let's see where my 720 is. It says I had run application on my local. It's missing the files. Import. Let's go over here. So we'll import that real quick. Let me find these iOS images. See if I got them on here. Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't even have a file. See, that's the thing about using this, is that when you use GNS3, you actually got to have the files in order to run these. And when I say files, you actually got to have a copy of iOS image in order to use GNS3. The difference between Packet Tracer is all you have to do is download Packet Tracer to get it started. GNS3 is different. And then as well, like you can run it locally on your device, or you have to run it as a VM. So you'll have to download something like VM Workstation or VM Player or VirtualBox in order to get GNS3 working. It takes a little work, but once you get it set up, it works flawlessly for the most part. So yeah, I really like GNS3 when I was using it. If anybody in the chat used GNS3 that's watching this video, let people know in the chat, let them know your thoughts on it, because it'll really, especially for you that are working on your Ccnp, this is a great tool and resource to help you get it. So the next one, and a lot of people's been talking about it, I don't have it. I've been thinking about getting it, but even G, actually in the chat, let me put GNS3 on here. So I'm gonna put a link to GNS3 in the chat for those of you that may be interested in checking it out and getting started with that. The next one on the list when it comes to emulating real environments is going to be EvenG. What's cool about EvenG is that you still are going to need some type of hypervisor, whether it's type 1 or type 2, to run it. And what I mean by that, you're going to have to virtualize it in something like VMware, VM Workstation, VM Player, or VirtualBox, something like that, to get it virtualized. And then once you have that, you connect to it through its IP address, and then you can configure your environment. And what's cool about EvenG is that it's vendor neutral, so you can use a lot of different vendors in EvenG to learn their technology. And a lot of people that I know, a lot of people are telling me great things about it, and they've actually switched from like GNS3 to EvenG, or from, of course, Packet Tracer, and from their home lab, and just strictly using EvenG. So I think I'm going to check it out. I haven't made that shift yet, but I think I may go ahead and check it out, because I don't know if you use IOU, but there's an application out there that I've seen people use. It's called IOU, and in IOU is not really drag and drop, but EvenG is. So in EvenG, you can actually drag and drop your routers, switches, ASAs, whatever, get them up and running, and build your whole infrastructure. So I'll put a link to this in the chat as well. Boom. That's EvenG. All right. So we talked about Packet Tracer. We talked about GNS3. We talked about homelab yesterday. And we also talked about EvenG. Now, here's another. When it comes to the skills you need in the workforce, everybody's talking network automation, programming, and understanding DevOps. So, of course, we have to go to DevNet. Where we at? All right, so I'm going to put a link here in the description. So here is DevNet Start Now. If you want to learn network automation, network programmability, this is where you go to get familiarized with those terms like coding and APIs, networking 101. I would start here, networking 101. And then just keep building WebEx, IoT, whatever you want to learn, data center and compute, cloud computing and containers, security. DevNet will introduce you to that. I'm going to put a link to this in the chat, but I'm going to show you DevNet because like this is real. You don't need to download nothing except for what you need, Cisco AnyConnect. And once you have Cisco AnyConnect, you're on the right VLAN in order to access everything. So check this out. So if I go into networking 101, right? And we go to the basics. Let's say this basics is software defined networking. And it talks about what is a network. Then it goes through all the training to get you there. And it should have some type of lab. Let's see. So there's a basics. All right, so this doesn't have a lab. Let's find one that has a lab. I think this is going to be using Postman, I think. All right, this is for WebEx. All right, so this shows you how to use GET or REST in order to communicate with APIs. APIs, what, application programming interface? What is it? API, application, API. Come on, Google. Tell me what application programming interface. So that's in websites like Twitter. Twitter has an API. YouTube, I think, has an API. Every website today has an API in order for developers to communicate with it to create useful applications for their organizations. Like my Twitter bot that I mentioned in the beginning of this chat that you can feel free to go check out on Tweet. It actually has the way I made it using Python is by communicating to Twitter's API. So understanding REST and APIs, going through these labs will help you when you get to that writing Python scripts portion of your career. Understanding APIs and how to communicate RESTfully to web applications will help you, because let's say you're writing a Python script for ACI. There's an API for ACI. And right here on DevNet has ACI. So if we go to DevNet, let's just go to DevNet. I think that's the easier way to do it. So developer.cisco.com. And this will take us right to DevNet. When you come in here, you decide what you want to learn. Like, let's go to data center. So if we go to data center and we go to application centric infrastructure, that's what ACI stands for. There's actually labs to help you learn ACI. So let me see. So here's what you call a sandbox. You have always on devices on DevNet, and then you also have devices that you actually have to schedule. So you have to register a time, how long you can use it in DevNet, but you can actually just use this always on device that takes you into a sandbox environment where you use DevNet. Now, this is a real live ACI APIC controller. This is an APIC. Let me see it. So you go through here, it tells you how to connect to it. Let me see if I got to do VPN on this. Oh, man, so you actually have to down, and that's what I'm saying. So you need, and I don't have any connect. So on my live computer, which I'm not on, I have AnyConnect installed. So what you'll have to do is download Cisco AnyConnect for Windows. So I would download it, but it might cut my connection. So what you do is download Cisco AnyConnect, which is connecting you to a VPN to be able to get into this environment. And once you're in this environment, you'll be on the right subnet in order for you to be able to walk through these instructions on configuring ACI. And so there's a whole bunch of labs on DevNet to help you understand how to configure ACI on DevNet, and actually in a real infrastructure. So there's a lot of information in here, a ton. So feel free to come check this out. And like I said before, this is on developer.cisco.com. I think I put a link to that in the description as well. So, but man, there's so many labs in here. Like, there's so many. Let me find. Hank has a really good lab on DevNet network. Is it network programmability? I think it's network programmability 101. Let's see. All right, so All right, if you really want to start with network programmability and understanding the ins and out, Hank has what, 6 modules on here? I think it's 6 modules. 6 modules that walks you through understanding the basics of what network programmability is, the fundamentals toward it, like understanding XML, JSON, data languages, data models, all of that, Yang, Ccnp. This is where you start. It's a pretty good course, and it's free. So I'm gonna put that in the link as well. And I'm not getting paid for none of this. Like, I'm giving y'all this game for free to help y'all get started. Man, it's so many resources out here, and every one of them that I talked about is free. There's no reason for you not to get to where you want to be in your career right now. Like, zero reason. Any technology you want to learn, there's a resource out there to help you learn it for free. And then there's so many people that'll help give you the game for free. This nothing can stop you. It's up to you to get out here and get it. Man. Alright, so let me get to the chat. What's popping with y'all? Oh, Lionel had a successful cutover this morning. About to get some rest. Hey, thanks, family. Congrats on that successful cutover. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Xander said that's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My bad. I forgot about Viral. Hey, thanks for bringing that up, family. Let me find that. Cisco. All right, so there's one more application, but I don't think it's free. I don't think it's free. So there's Cisco Viral. Cisco Viral is another application this is actually from Cisco. I believe it's like $200 or something. But the thing about Cisco Viral is you actually get real iOS images. So you get, I think, what is it? ASAV, what is it? CSRV, ASRV, all of these different instances to learn Cisco. All right, so here's a better description. iOS V, okay, XRV, NXOS V, CSRV, and ASAV, all included. So pretty much anything you want to learn on the LAN, WAN, data center, and security is on Cisco Viral. Cisco Viral, I've never used it, but I know a lot of people that have used it, and like they mentioned in the chat, it's a pretty good application, and it's from Cisco, and you don't have to worry about getting images because everything comes with this. Everything comes with this. So whatever you want to build is here, and I believe it's only like $200. So let's see how much it is, so y'all know. There you go. Yeah, so it's $200, and I don't know if it's annual, like you get 365 days or what, or this is like a lifetime. I think it's, I don't know if it's annual or maybe it's a one-time cost. Yeah, it's only for a year. So you get access to Cisco Viral for a year for $200. And for $200 to get access to everything Cisco without having to worry about getting them another way or trying to figure out how you're going to get the images, to me, it's worth it. It supports Ubuntu, IPperf, Rotom. Let me see. Man, yeah. So that's another one. So we got, and I'll put this in the chat as well. So we got Viral, we got GNS3, we got Eve and G. Man, there's so many resources out here. No excuse. Boom, there you go. Viral. Feeling guilty for my lack of studying. Don't feel guilty about that, family. You may have other priorities in your life. You know what I mean? And if you feel guilty, you can always just be like, you know what? I'm going to study right now. Right? I'm going to put everything down and just study. Or wake up early at 6 a.m. and get it in. Gotta get it. Alright, so we talked about where to start. I got a question from let's go to my video from yesterday. Let's go to my channel. And I got an interesting question. I think it's in my community, so if you come in here, let's go to the comments from yesterday. Is it from yesterday? Be at work. Maybe it's the video from yesterday. Let's find the video from yesterday. You have something. Yeah, I thank everybody for tuning in. Hit this video with a like if it's helping you. Share it out. All right, so we come down here to the chat. Man, I need to find where the question at. Cause it was about the same thing you just brought up, family, when you was talking about your about feeling guilty about your lack of study. And I'm like, okay, what's the question? Cause I want to get that person a shout out. Cause I'm like, yo, we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? Okay, here it is. So from VV, he said, can you talk about a study plan and study schedule? How many of y'all have issues like planning your studies and going about your studies and trying to stay on track and all that stuff? If you had that struggle, let me know what struggle you have specifically, so that way I can address that to those that are watching this video. D-Cloud. So while y'all commenting, I'm gonna go to D-Cloud because that's another one too. So Cisco D-Cloud, I want to say similar to DevNet. I want to say it's similar to DevNet, but it's not DevNet. It's not DevNet. It's totally different. But D-Cloud is another resource that has a lot of content around learning. Let me just show you. So if you want to learn, let's say, DevNet and Data Center, Hyperflex, Cisco Network and Assurance Engine, Data Center Network Manager, Application-Centric Infrastructure Multi-Site Lab. This is an actual lab that you can go through utilizing DevNet, I believe. Yeah, laptop, Cisco AnyConnect. This is an actual lab that you can actually go through. You download the guide, you schedule a time for the lab, and then once you schedule it, you log on and you'll have access. You'll need to have VPN connection. This is telling you everything you need. Laptop and Cisco AnyConnect. So you create a VPN connection, and it's gonna give you walk through all these scenarios to learn about multi-site ACI. I'll leave this in the chat too, because this is another good resource. So D-Cloud is what we're talking about. And it's through Cisco as well. Hey, great point, family. Hey, Daryl, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you, fam. Xander, you got it, family. All right, so staying focused, creating a study schedule. And I'll just tell you like about my day. My days are, I got 4 kids. My oldest is in high school. She's almost ready to drive. She's working. My youngest is a newborn. She's a newborn. You know what I mean? And then I had 2 in between that. I have my wife, you know, she doesn't work. So we have the way everything is set up. You know, she stays home with the kids pretty much and handles everything she needs to handle for herself. And then I work and come home and do my part as well. And so it's like I'm busy all day long. Studying, what I found is something that I really have to say, you know what, if I want this, I got to put in the time. Business is something I had to say, you know what, if I want this, I got to put in the time. And so the problem was, where do I find the time? Because there's 5 people that depend on me. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I need to make sure everybody good, and I have to take care of myself. But then there's also things I want to accomplish. In order for me to have the lifestyle that I desire, I got to put in the work. All right, where can I find time to put in this work? So like YouTube, I want to go live with y'all. It's like, all right, where can I find time to do that? Because by the time I get home, I got this, and new. Then I still got to study. Then I still got some business obligations. And then I might have to log on and do a cutover or do some type of migration or work on a project. So it's like, where do I find time for this? So I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and hop straight on YouTube for a couple hours or an hour. And then I got that knocked out at least one time a week. That way I can connect with everybody and answer the questions that they may have. All right, so where do I find the time to study? See, I'm a senior network engineer. When I wasn't a senior network engineer and I wanted to be, the problem I had was, it's like, all right, I want to work on this router. I want to work on this switch, but I don't have access to it. So I bought a physical lab. And I started labbing every day and learning as much as I can, no matter when I could. So if I had to wake up early, I get it in. If I had to stay up late, I get it in. You know what I mean? And any projects that was router switch related or network related at work, I'm diving in it. And if I got downtime at work, I'm watching a training video, I'm reading a book, I'm doing something that's going to help get me to where I want to be and improve my value in my company. It's, like I said, if there's a network issue that came across, that's what I did. So at the time I started my Ccna journey, I was a network technician. So, but honestly, I was a desktop technician because even though my title was network technician, I had to do a lot of desktop. There was like 2,000 users, 40 different buildings, and a 4,000 acre plant that I had to support. So I supported everything from desktop to VMware to APs to switches to core switches, you name it, server infrastructure, I supported it. And it was like constantly projects, tasks, projects. I get home, I'm drained because I'm working 12, 14, 16-hour days in order to prove that, yo, I'm worth more than what you're paying me. You know, look, I want more responsibility. I don't want to be on this desktop forever. Like, I'm putting in the work, but putting in that work, it built some great relationships in that organization, and then it also taught me a lot. But then it also made me realize that in order to get to where I want to be, I'm going to have to get some real skills. And so the first project I could to install a new core and to build a new network, I dove in. It's like, okay, you need a VSS? I don't have no idea what a VSS is, but let me figure it out and let me build it and get these 4500s up and running. Figured it out, got it implemented. Boom. Next thing you know, I got my ICND1. It's like, okay, I'm gonna finish the Ccna. Got a job offer, went to be a lead in a knock. Got to the knock. It's a lot of downtime in the knock. A whole lot of downtime. People watch a lot of Netflix and knocks. I'm not that guy. So I'm watching I&E, I'm watching CBT Nuggets. Anytime I'm not working on an outage or I'm not troubleshooting a customer, I'm learning. Because I know, I want more than this. So I know I got responsibilities at home. I don't really have time at home. So I'm going to take this downtime that I got here and just get everything I can. So at the time, got my ITIL. Boom. ITIL, knocked that out. Got my CCNA, knocked that out. Boom. Couple weeks later, took Ccnp switch, failed. It's like, dang, man, I done worked on like 500 switches. I know this. Retook it like a week later. Boom, Ccnp switch. Got another job offer. It's like, okay, I'm going to take this job because just ain't for me. And so I went to be a system administrator. That had its own challenges. So I really couldn't study because I'm doing servers now. So I bought my home. That's when I bought my home lab. And it's like, all right, when I ain't at home, I've been doing servers all my life. I don't really need to study that no more because at that time, Azure wasn't here. We weren't really talking cloud like that. So we were still doing like Windows 2012. I got no problem with that. VMware 6.0, got no problem with that. But what I want to learn and what I want to be is a network engineer. So when I came home, I built my server at home so I could have a server environment, my server infrastructure, have my lab online, and all I did was lab. And I didn't really have the extra money to be paying for I&E or CBT Nuggets. So what I did, I bought the books and the diagrams that you see in the book, any type of figure to go whatever, like if they're talking about, let's say BGP, and there's a diagram with IP addresses, and it's giving you, okay, an example of whatever issue or technology that they're teaching you for that section. They're giving you a diagram example of that. What I would do is lab that up specifically. And then that way, as I'm going through it, it's like, okay, this is how he came to that conclusion. Boom. All right, I understand that. All right, I don't want to forget this. How can I take better notes? That's when I started using OneNote. It's like, okay, let me use OneNote because all this pen and paper, it's hard to go through pen and paper. You can't search through that. You got to do that manually. So I started using OneNote. Then I started using OneNote, putting stuff in there, and I'm typing. I'm like, yo, I'm tired of typing. And so what I started doing was just taking screenshots of stuff, and I realized that you can do alt to text. So rather than just spending all my time typing, I just started doing screenshots. Then I got Epic Pen and started doing my own diagrams. And I had Visio at the time, so I started Visioing diagrams and just putting in the work as much as I could, staying up till 11, 12 o'clock at night, to lab. And ultimately, while I was a system administrator, within that next 6 months of getting my Ccnp, from getting my Ccnp switch, I got my Ccnp as a system administrator. And then 2 years after that, I became a network engineer. So I'm saying all that to say that I had to learn to take the time that I had to get to where I wanted to be the best way I could. Like, I couldn't worry about, like, man, I don't even touch these devices. Like, it's killing me. Nah, I ain't got no time. It's too much energy. It's like, okay, this is what I'm doing at work. This is what I need to put my energy in when I get off of work. Anytime in between that, I'm working on getting to where I want to be. And so it's all about just having that mindset, eliminating those distractions. Like I deleted Facebook. I deleted all my social medias. I cut people out of my life that wasn't adding me value, that was draining me. And it was just like, you know what? This is what I'm focused on, and I'll talk to everybody later. Once I get to where I want to be, we can go have a beer, we can do whatever. But right now, this is what I'm doing. You feel me? So, that's that. Let's start with the chat. Hey, I want to work in cybersecurity. Not sure if I should go for security or security plus a CCNA. Cybersecurity, I would say go for the security plus. And the reason why I say that, when you look at like the standard for DoD, and Let's go for it. So this directive right here for the baseline. This is for DISA. Baseline certifications. I guess they got a new website. So they got a public cyber meal. Ah, man, they done. Y'all hate when they change their websites and they take you something other than what you want to go to. Alright, so let's just go back. Anyway, this DoD directive right here for baseline security certifications. The Security Plus is one of them. And if you look at this map, I actually did a video on this in my Security Plus video. Hey, thanks, Early. So if you look at this here for the baseline certifications, the Security Plus is, where's it at? The Security Plus is on all of them that's important as a baseline. So the Ccna security is dope too. But when it comes to the industry and the amount of time you got to put in, and I look on the return on investment, I would say if you're not looking to get into network and infrastructure security, at least to get started and to have the qualification to get in the field, I would say the CompTIA Security Plus will probably be the one that you can get the fastest. Because if you don't know anything about networking, getting the Ccna security, it's gonna take some work. If you don't have access to an ASA, if you don't have access to, what else is on there? I don't know, switches, because you got your layer 2. It's gonna take some work. If you don't have access to that, and you don't have that experience, I would say your best return on investment would be the Security Plus. Early, thank you. What's up, family? Appreciate what you're doing. I see you. Hey, much love. I appreciate that super chat. I appreciate all super chats. All right, let me get to some more of these people in the chat. Hey, Early, you got a question? I do appreciate the love, though. Nadish, I'm working as a network engineer. Salute, family. Clydesdale, what's poppin', fam? He said, I used to use TeamViewer to connect to my home lab. Facts. You can connect, you set up a VPN and you can access your home lab, or you can use something like TeamViewer where you log in remotely through TeamViewer to access your home lab. But make sure you got your security down or got your home lab segmented for your actual physical lab. I got you. Setting goals and making plans. This was the pep talk I needed. Hey, much love, fam. You already got it, Xander. Get out there and get it, family. Hey, what's up, Ali? What's poppin'? Yeah, man, you 62 minutes late, but we really just getting started in the conversation. Before we talked about how to lab every day with the tools that are out there for free, how to get started. So we talked about Packet Tracer, GNS3, EvenG, Viral, Cisco DevNet, all the resources out there to help you get started to be a network engineer, automation engineer, whatever you want to be. Appreciate you coming in, though, family. Just did some ACL lab for exam prep. Hey, ACLs can be a base. I've seen 60,000 line ACLs. I've worked on 50,000 line ACLs daily. That's no fun. Whitey Jr., you go, Dewan. We all just got to put in the work. Lab every day. Hey, yo, in the chat, let me hit some lab every day along with your area code. Where y'all from? And your country code. If you ain't in America, put the lab every day hashtag along with where you from in the chat. Show some love. What's up, Larry? What's poppin', family? It's hard when people around you don't understand. All right, so Larry, he's saying it's hard when the people around you don't understand the level of commitment and grind it takes to find and keep success in the tech industry. really have to immerse yourself with like-minded people. Facts. And that's why I said I had to separate myself from all distractions. That could be people, places, and things. All distractions. You really... Tech is one of those things where you got to really put in the work. It's not one of those things to where, or one of those career fields where you can just coast and promotions come and jobs come. No, you have to constantly be learning. You have to not sit back and allow projects to pass you by. You have to really take and be kind of assertive. And I'm not going to lie, like that was kind of hard for me because like I'm the type of person I believe that God provides everything that I need. You know what I mean? And so being in the workplace and learning how to say, okay, you know what? This is what I did today. And present myself like that. I had to learn to do that. So shout out to you, bro, for putting that out there. Mark, what's popping? Thanks. Love your work. Much love to you, family. Charles J, what's good, family? Nadia, she says, could you please share any study material? Study material for what? What you looking for? I don't share notes, but I'll give you some resources. Matter of fact, I talked about this early in the video. Where we at? Where we at? I must have closed it. Where we at? All right, so LabEveryday.com. I'll put the link in the description. But if you go over here to certification tools and check the blog, I probably wrote a blog post if I pass the certification. But check this out. Boom. If you're looking for resources to learn any of these areas, this is on my website. Check the blog out. If you look for a certification and I passed it, let me know and I'll write a post about it. Because I understand I may talk fast and you may be in another country. And I realize that sometimes writing is easier for people to follow than talking to me. So, Brooklyn in the building. What's popping? India in the building. What's popping? Yobi, what's good? LabEveryday all the way from Norway. Man, look, they internationally known on the microphone. Mark R, what's popping, family? Danville, Virginia. I ain't never been there. That's what's up. Danville, Virginia. Early. Seen the LinkedIn video, and like you, I'm pretty much done with social, but might have to hop on that. Yeah, man, I'm not really into social media. I'm not really into it at all. I'm telling you, when you're in this tech and you're trying to learn and you're trying to grow, you have to limit those distractions. Like, I post social media just to help people. Outside of that, I'm cool. I don't want to hear the news. I don't want to see the trends. Like, I'm good. Early said, all right. Musa just finished a degree with DeVry. Shout out to you, family. Did you get a scholarship? Them degrees at DeVry ain't cheap. Network Communication Management, no search yet. Working on the Ccna. Failed. I seen he won by a couple of questions. Hey, sorry to hear that. Get back in there, though. Don't stop studying. Don't allow it to discourage you. Ask for support. If you got questions, like Twitter community, I said I don't do social media, but when it comes to tech and the community for learning, I'm all for that. So the hashtag LabEveryday, the community, look, there's a ton of people that'll help you. Matter of fact, in this chat, there's a ton of people that'll share their knowledge to help you. So don't feel like you in this alone. Daniel, what's popping? Nashville, Tennessee, love you, Dwayne. Hey, I love you back, family. Class at LabEveryday. Carolina in the building. Cisco Core her group sec track. Man, that is what's up. Traveling the country, racking and stacking, getting paid. Hey, yo, Musa. That's something I always wanted to do is travel. Hey, Larry, thanks for that super chat. I'm gonna get to you, family. I ain't forgot you. Musa, that's something I always wanted to do is travel around the world in rack and stack. Like set up data centers or, man, that just seemed like it would be like the best thing to go to like somewhere new every week and just meet new people, see new faces, see new places, and do what I love. Man, that would be fire. Shout out to you, family. Clark, what's popping? All right, let me get to Larry real quick. Mailman delivered my LabEveryday hoodie and t-shirt. Salute, bro. LabEveryday t-shirt and hoodie on deck. Hey, man. It's some fire merch. I got a hat coming soon, too. That hat is coming soon, but the merch is... Shout out to my boy Justin for designing this. I actually just ordered my daughter this. I'm excited. I'm excited to see her in. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm excited to see her in that onesie. It's going down. It's going down for sure. Hey, thanks for that, though, bro. I appreciate that, Larry. Fort Worth, Dallas, Texas in the building. Charles J., how do you feel about CCIE now as Python? Yo, explain that. You mean that there's Python in the CCIE? How do I feel about it? I feel like it should be. If that's your question, I feel like it should be in there. Think about what a CCIE is. It's an infrastructure expert. Like, we're no longer just in the age of routing and switching. Like, yeah, we got WAN engineers. Yeah, we do have those. But when you're a WAN engineer, you're probably supporting multiple clients. You're probably supporting multiple sites. And a lot of times, you have to automate scripts in order to build these clients, support these clients, support these WAN connections, to manage these BGP prefix lists, to manage these ACLs. So I think Python should be in there. Like, you're not really working on a one-by-one project. Like, you're an architect. So I think Python should be in there. Clark, you said, I feel like the new Ccna is heavily devalued. Facts. The Ccna will be the new associate's degree. It won't be like the bachelor's degree that it is today, I think, as well. So, and honestly, it could be like more like a high school diploma, because you got to think, man, the Ccna is really like an entry-level certification, and people in today's market is using the Ccna like for their whole career. They don't really need another certification. So I can understand why it's like that. Give you basic network foundation that you have to build on. So, but it's going to take a while for that to happen. So I say get your Ccna now. 219, Gary in the building. Where the hood at? Headed to 207 Portland, Maine. LabEveryday. Portland, Maine. What is in Maine? What is in Maine, Maine? I've never been to Maine. I'm pretty sure they got some good, like, crab legs, though. That, and some clams and all that stuff. Man, the seafood in Maine is probably fire. Jason, what's good? Desktop is the best start in network engineering, or what will be a good start in job switching from retail. Jason, if you want to be a network engineer, get in networks. I say desktop is a good entry point because it allows you to learn how to deal with customers. It learns you how to deal with applications, how to support desktops, and it teaches you that layer 1, layer 2 to understand, okay, how does ping work? How does traceroute work? How does all of this work from a customer standpoint? That way, when you're the network engineer that's on the other end of the line troubleshooting that 802.1x issue or that wireless issue, you actually seen some of the stuff that the customer has dealt with. You know what I mean? So in that sense, it gives you a ground up understanding of the infrastructure. So there's nothing wrong with starting there. But if you can start as a network engineer, I say dive in. Just apply, family. I think that's my real point. Just get in the field and then figure out where you want to go and how to get there. Because there's no one way that, like, I can't tell you where to start and how to get to where you want to be. I can tell you what I've done. I can give you suggestions. Like if you got job offers on the table, we could talk about, okay, which one is going to teach you the most technology? Which one is going to offer you the most value when it comes to the work that you put in? You know what I mean? And where you want to be. Which one aligns the best with your career goals? So I could talk to you about that, but as far as telling you, yo, start here, nah, I can't tell you that. Hey, bro, I'm a brother taking a course in India. I have my Ccna, but I'm getting my AWS Solution Architect. Do you know anything about this field or anyone in it? No, I'm not an AWS guy. I need to be. But I don't have to support AWS, and there's so many other technologies that I'm learning. Like Azure. I got Azure certified, which I don't support enough Azure to stay really relevant in that. So it's kind of hard. But have you checked Udemy? I'm sure there's some Udemy courses on AWS. Check Udemy. Hey, thanks, Ali. Ali said if anyone needs help prepping for their CCNA, hit him up. He's prepping for his 200-125. He's taking that beast. Let's go. There, I want a few certifications. Social Security. ARG, that's funny. I hear that a lot, though. That's funny. All right, Xander says, a real solid point about the CCNA is supposed to be entry level. Yeah, rise and grind. What's up, Mario Fletcher? In the building. What you working on? Hey, what y'all studying right now? So, I wanted to do some lab this morning. Matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it. Hey, Musa, you said you failed your ICND1. Was this a specific technology that you had trouble with? If so, let me know. And I may try and lab it up real quick while we're here, because I got like 30 more minutes before I'm up out of here. So I wanted to talk about how to lab every day, like where to start for someone that doesn't have a lab and is new to IT. So we talked about that. Then we actually talked about where to start. We talked about that, and we also talked about the study plan and how to, kind of balance your life. Now, I want to kind of get to some labs real quick because, like I said, I got like 30 more minutes before I'm up out. So, Musa, if anybody in the chat got a specific technology when it comes to route switch they want to talk about, if you're working on your CCNA, Ccnp, let me know and I'll lab it up real quick in my lab. I'm new to the channel. Appreciate what you do. Do you have to go for the Ccnp core before the Ccnp? Yes, you do. Hey, thanks, network guy on the run. Much love to you, family. Network guy on the run, man. Why you call yourself that? I like the name. Why you call yourself that? You a network engineer? What you do? But yeah, so if you're going for the Ccnp and the new certifications, you have to take that core exam. But check this out. And so my boy posted this. Let me go to my LinkedIn real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Oh man. Let's see. Trying to find this post real quick. I'm gonna try and find a post. Actually, let me just go to Cisco Learning. So if you're going for the new CCNP in 2019, you have to go for that core exam. If you're going for your CCIE, which the CCNA is no longer a prerequisite, you have to go for that core exam. So no matter what you decide to do, you have to take the core exam first before you do it. So whether you go for the CCNP specialty or go for the CCIE, you have to take that core exam because it's a prerequisite for both. The CCNA is no longer a prerequisite. So if you don't have your CCNA now, you actually don't need it. You can take that CCNP core exam and then go for the specialty in enterprise or enterprise security. Let's just pull that up on Cisco Learning. So, and we can go through it. The CLN. All right, so if we go to Cisco Learning, I'll put this in the chat too because this is a site that you all need to be familiar with. If you're learning certifications, this is where you need to go. So if you go over here to certifications, click the button or select what you want. So if we look at this diagram, let's pull it up like this. We don't need that. We need all the space in this window we can. So the next level, Cisco certifications, 24, February 24, 2020. So if we look at here, enterprise. So the Ccna, I think this may still be here, but you'll have the Ccna. Oh, it looks like you'll still have the Ccna cyber ops as well. So if any of you have your Ccna cyber ops, that's not going away. But then you also have the Ccnp enterprise, the Ccnp collaboration, Ccnp data center, Ccnp security, and Ccnp service provider. So if we click Ccnp enterprise, it should tell us the prerequisites. So this core exam is a prerequisite. You got to take that first. And then in order to actually have a specialty, you can take any one of these. You don't have to take all of them. You just pick one, and that'll be a specialty. See, that's why it says choose one. Choose one of these. But you'll have to look at the exam topics to see which one is which. So check these out. But like I said, I'll put a link to this in the description. But if we look at the CCIE enterprise infrastructure, that same core exam is a prerequisite. So what I'm saying is you don't have to go for the Ccnp, you don't have to go for the Ccna, but you have to take this core exam no matter what you do. You take that first, and then you can go straight for the CCIE lab. So if you got experience and you feel like you're ready, go for it. But I don't know if you looked at these exam topics for that lab. Boy, all this is cool. VRF, EIGRP, OSPF, BGP, we good. Multicast, cool, we can learn that. But this is 25% software-defined infrastructure. So you're going to have to know that SD-WAN. You're going to have to dive into that. You're going to have to learn ACI, VXLAN, Cisco DNA. This is technology you're going to have to use DevNet for. Or see it in your real environment and get hands-on. Not just hands-on, configuring DHCP helpers or configuring what is it? Endpoint groups? Yeah, EPGs. You got to actually build it. Build it. So it's some work. Then it's 15% automation and network programmability. So, man, but I think for this, I have my MP Desi. So here, I feel comfortable. Here will be my struggle because I haven't used SD-WAN. I haven't implemented. So that would be my struggle. I would have to really dive into there. This section here for the infrastructure wouldn't be no problem. Yes, I'm going to have to learn deeper, but I've been watching the videos and I've been reading books, and it's all right, I'm understanding this. I do a lot of this. EIGRP, no, I don't do a lot of EIGRP. OSPF, I don't do a lot. So those will be the two areas I focus on, but the layer 2 technologies, I don't think I really need to. Routing concepts, VRFs, I probably will need to dive into that. BGP, man, that thing's a beast. But I've been reading the RFC, and I do a lot of BGP at work. So I'm really working to get all that information. And hopefully, when it comes that time, if I take this exam, this will be the majority of my focus. MPLS too. MPLS it kind of gets complicated on that too. So, but that's still only 15%. But either way, I don't want to fail any section because I don't really know how they grade the thing. So But that's that. Hey, man, I hope that helped you, family. If it did, let me know. In the chats. Oh, man, that's love, man. I'm on the run from the feds. Yo. He crazy. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm a knock engineer. And the on the run part come from on the run to greatness. On the run to greatness. See, that's why I asked you. I love that, bro. On the run to greatness. Hey. Yo, that just made my day right there. Hey, man, if I can do anything to help you achieve that greatness, let me know. Much love, fam. And thank you for that super chat. Super chats are always appreciated. Much love. That's fire. On the run to greatness. I'm about to have AW cert. I will take Python cert plus one other. But thank you. It's hard to find anyone who is working in this field in the USA. Man. Now, there's a lot of people actually working. Are you on LinkedIn? There's a lot of people on my LinkedIn. Like the homie Larry just mentioned, Broadus Palmer. He works for Linux Academy. Check him out. He has a lot of information, but I think he's been focused more on Google, but I'm not sure. But I know he was really working on AWS as well too at one point. I think he's certified in both, if I believe correctly. Larry, I have my AWS. I need job information and insights. Cool. Only scored 50% on infrastructure maintenance. So I have to hit it. All right, let's look at the ICND1 infrastructure maintenance real quick. So we go back to certifications and we look at the current Ccna. And we look at routing and switching. Yo, am I missing something? You know what? Routing and switching, ICND1 exam. All right, so let's go. If you go to, y'all playing with me. Y'all playing with me. Stop playing. Stop. Look, this is what I want. ICND1. Don't take me there. I would take me there. Take right there. Right there. That's where I want to go. All right, cool. So let's see. He said 50% on the infrastructure maintenance. What is that? Ccnp? Syslog. Configure and verify device monitoring using Syslog. Verify device management. Backup, restore. All right, so let me see. Configure and verify initial device configuration. Verify troubleshooting basic device hardening. All right. I mean, this ain't device iOS upgrades recovery, TFTP. See, now I'm curious. I need to read like what terminal monitor. Login events. Man, see, now I'm curious. Well, first of all, like when you do a show log, like all of this is logging into your buffer. But you can actually send a log, the type of log you want, to a logging server. So if you come in here, there's nothing going on my device. What's going on? I ain't got no logs. Show login. Man, I guess I ain't got nothing. Let me shut down this interface. And so we can get something in my log. Alright, now we do a show log. Should have something, still nothing in my log. There we go. So as you can see, login wasn't on. And let me go back up here and see if it was on before. So before I did that, and we did a show login, no active message, no inactive discriminator. Login should have, well, it said disabled. Console login. Interesting. 30 messages logged. 30 messages logged, but it didn't show anything in the log. That's crazy. But now it's showing my logs. That's funny. They should stay there. Like if we go to my switch, hold up. So I just changed to my switch. And we go enable. Ah man, this is just all bad. So whenever you see this translated, it's trying to send a DNS query to a DNS, basically a DNS broadcast, because you don't have a DNS configured. So it's just sending a broadcast out the entire subnet saying, yo, is there a DNS server out here to get me to this name right here, because it doesn't have a DNS server to do a lookup. So that's why you got to do the no IP domain lookup. Now, if I do a show log on here, I should see something in my login buffer. It's supposed to be there. I don't know what's going on with that router, but I'll fix it later. And that's not even something that's on the Ccna. But you can actually configure a logging server, so where you want to send your logs to. So I could just enter an IP address, and I could send my logs to a login host. And what will happen is it'll normally be a Linux server. You send those logs there, so whenever you get those messages that you see in your login buffer, you can actually just grep those to find what you're looking for, whatever outage or whatever log that you're looking for. You can just grep those on that Linux node or whatever type of login server that you have. It could be, if you want to build that in your home lab, I think SolarWinds has a Kiwi syslog. SolarWinds. Like if you want to build a basic server, so SolarWinds has this, and I believe it's free. It's called Kiwi syslog server. I use it in my home lab, and you can actually log with this. I'll put a link to this in the description. You set up the syslog server, and you send your logs there, and then you can learn it that way. Now, what else is on that? What else is on there? Where were we at? All right, so that's logging. Terminal monitor. If I was to SSH into this device, you have terminal monitor. So terminal monitor, right? If I'm SSH into a device, I don't see console logging messages. So I won't see none of these if you're SSH into a device. You won't see none. But in order to see those messages, you want to do terminal monitor. See, as you can see, it's already turned on now. But like I said, when you're SSH, you don't see those login messages. So if you're having errors on your device interface or flapping or something like that, you won't see it. So normally when I'm troubleshooting a remote issue, I do terminal monitor, turn it on, so that way immediately if something's flapping or an interface is having errors or the switch is telling me there's a memory issue, I'm going to see it using that terminal monitor command. And then if I need to turn it off, it's terminal no mon. Terminal no monitor turns it off. So now, if I come in here on this interface and I do a show interface gigabit/0 or /1, and I do a shut, even I still see it. That's funny. Maybe you can't turn it off on let me see, terminal. Yeah, you're supposed to be able to. I did terminal no mon. Yeah, that turns it off. It should be off. Maybe you can't turn it off on the console. Maybe that's what it is. But if you're on a SSH connection, you do terminal node monitor, that will turn it off on the device. So that way, if you're logged in, you turn on terminal monitor, and your screen is just getting hammered with buffer messages, do terminal node monitor, and that'll shut off those alerts. But you probably can't turn it off for console. So that's that. Anyway, let's go back over here. Terminal monitor, login events. We talked about login servers, ping and trace route. Trace route. Trace route. I mean, it's, in my opinion, I mean, I would think it's just basic. And you send a trace, and it's going to go to the default gateway, and it's going to tell you every hop along the path. So that's trace route. Now, extended ping, I'm not sure how they want you to do it, but basically what you would do is the IP address of the device that you want to ping is one way, and you could tell it the size of the package you want to send, how many times you want it to repeat. So if I wanted to repeat 10 times, and actually, if I wanted to repeat 10 times, if I want to use a different source interface, like if I'm on a router, it's going to use, I could tell it, like if I have a loopback interface, I could tell it to use that loopback interface. If I have a different interface, like let's say I have two interface connections, rather than using the exiting interface is going to use, let's say another VLAN or VLAN 3, I could tell it to source it from that interface. But there's also the extended ping way where you just type ping and then you start typing. And I see a lot of people do it like this. And it just takes you to a series of steps. But since I don't have anything in here to configure, it's not going to do it. But the extended ping is just hitting ping and then hitting type. I mean hit enter and then just going through the series of questions that it's asking. That's that. So iOS upgrades, SCP. You need, so if I need to copy something from like, oh, okay, now it's working. It wasn't just working. Okay, I see. So the protocol IP, my bad. That wasn't asking for the IP address. It was asking for the type of protocol I wanted to use. And so the default is IP. All right, that's my fault. So now the target IP, how many times you want to send it? Let's say 10. The datagram size, let's say 100. Timeout, 2. Extended commands. Sweep range. And now it's going to send the packets. That's that. So let me do Control Shift X. All right. iOS upgrades, password, recovery, and configuration register. The best way I can tell you to do this is to lab it up. But if you do a show version, it'll tell you your configuration register right here. And depending on the device, that could be different. So what I would do is Google this and look up the standard that's supposed to be done, and look up at what's in the book and what they tell you the standard to be. But depending on your device, this could be different. But you need to know how to change it. So if we do a config T, your configuration register, and like I said, it's always different on the device, depending on what you're using. And we'll see. Let me 2960. Let's look up config register. $29.60. And here's a blog. You got to get used to using Google. Don't be afraid to use it. So let's just find a straight Cisco post. Yeah, see, it's not supposed to be that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the test will tell you, like, how it's supposed to be, but this makes no sense. but every device, a different iOS will tell you. So, need some help. I don't want a password recovery. I don't want a password recovery. Man, this that hard to find? See, now I'm interested in how you change it. Unless you can't change it. That's because the default config register is supposed to be something different. But obviously, it's not that. Like, and I'm sure when you learn, it's something else. And actually, I think I still got it in my notes of what it's supposed to be. That's different. Here's something from the Cisco Learning Network. There's a set the same thing. Yeah, you can't change it. No wonder. Normally, you would come in here to do a config T, and you change it there, but it's like you would have it there, but it's not there. And that's the thing about working real world. This is why I like real world equipment, because this is stuff that happens in the field. Like, you see this happens all the time, to where you know how something's configured, but when you go to configure it, the iOS may be different, or the device type may be different, and it just happens. Like, it's crazy. It's nuts. Let me say, cool. Everything is, but hold on. Let me go back though. So I put that SolarWinds in there. Let's go back one more time. All right, so the iOS recoveries, I would say just lab this up and get used to understanding. All right, copy run start. So that copy command, it means copy the running configuration, meaning the configuration that you see right here on this screen, copy that to the startup configuration. That's what copy run start is. So if you say copy TFTP and then 10.1.1.1, whatever, blah, 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 and then you can tell it to, like, your flash. Copy it to your flash. Save it to your device. Understanding that format is like, okay, copy this from this TFTP drive or whatever to the flash, or SCP. Understand, SCP isn't turned on by default, and it's not even supported on this device. So if you need to SCP something, you have to actually turn it on, and it actually has to support the security image that is needed in order to do it. So, and that's just another way. Secure copy protocol, I believe, is what it is. SCP protocol. Yeah, so secure copy protocol, that's what it is. And it's just another way to copy. Like, you can copy from device to device on the network. So it's another way to copy images and all that stuff. So password recovery, same thing. You have to go into RunMon in order to do that. I actually have a video on it on my YouTube on where I password recovery is switched. I'll put that in the chat right now. You can check that out. Man, I got a lot of videos. A ton of videos. How the password recovery is switched. I'll put this in the chat. I'll walk you through it here.
Log into your device. You pull up Putty, and you can't.
But yeah, that's that. Let's see. We talked file system management, DIR, and that'll tell you everything that's on your device. Show flash is another one. Show flash, that'll show you what's on your device. You can do a more flash, and let's say I wanna see what my config.txt file is. Let's say flash config.txt, and I can actually view what that file has in the flash. So I can actually view the file from the flash on the device with the more command on the Cisco device. So that's pretty cool. Let me see what else. Talked about that. Login banner. Remember, MOTD. That's the banner of the day. So config T. MOTD. Oh, my bad. Banner. Let's do that right. MOTD. And then so you have a delimited, a starting and delimiting character. They have to match. So no matter what you put in here, it's going to be between this character. This character can be anything. It's just saying, okay, my banner starts here and it ends here. So anything between this character is your banner. So if I go like that, that's going to be my login banner. If I type exit and I log in, that's my banner right there. Everything between those characters. So that's the banner message of the day. Let's see. Next, telnet, source address, access the device, source address. So if we, man, I really need to get like, so I posted something on my Twitter, and I'll just go to my personal Twitter real quick. I think this would be a good time to show this real quick. So on my Twitter, I tweeted, and you can follow me LabEveryday, but if you check this out, if you follow me on Twitter, I posted this a couple of days ago because somebody else was having this same issue. But when you're talking about ACLs, you got standard and extended. The interesting thing about ACLs, and I'm going to get out of here in like 7 minutes. So the interesting thing about ACLs, it doesn't always work like you learned in the book, but understand the purpose of an ACL is to identify traffic. That's all you're doing. It does nothing until you apply it. You're just identifying the type of traffic that you want to have an access list for. So when you talk standard, what is standard? You're using the source address. So where is the information coming from? Like, okay, use this source to identify this traffic, and it should be in its place as close to the destination as possible. And why? Because if I place a source address here, right? If I say put the address here for a standard ACL, and I'm coming from this LAN network over to this destination here, I'm not going to be able to go here or out to the internet. It's going to block me right here. So it's going to be like a firewall. It's not going to allow me here. So I'm not going to be able to traverse anywhere else in this router. So what I need to do is I need to place it here in order so that way I can still go wherever I need to go in the network. So it's going to be placed as close to the destination as possible. An extended ACL. So here you're going to identify the source and destination, and then the ports. The port could be the source port, destination port. You have IP, you have TCP. However you want to identify the traffic with an extended ACL, you can do that. And both of those can be named and numbered. So the extended ACL, you want to place it. You want to place it as close to the source as possible, because what you don't want. Let me explain this better. So you place it as close to the source as possible, because if I'm blocking, like, let's say I want to block this IP address from going to the internet, but he can go wherever else he wants. So I'm gonna place it here, because if I place it here, I'm allowing traffic throughout this router that doesn't need to go in, that doesn't need to flow. So what I want to do is place it here, so that way he can't go to the internet. So there's no point of this router even having to process that throughout the router, because he can't do it. So you want to place it close to the source as possible. So if I can't go to, let's say, SSH, all right, there's no point in this traffic even flowing through the router, so let's just block it at the interface. But he can go everywhere else. So he can still go to the internet. He can still go wherever else to go. But anything on port 22, it's not traversing the router. So, or firewall. That's that. Let me see. Configure and verify initial device configuration. Initial device configuration. Like I said, on the switch, you want to verify the show. You want to do the show run. See what's configured. Show run and configuration. Host name is pretty much always going to be switched. There's no service password encryption. I don't see a password configured. No service password encryption means that the passwords that install, like with the enable password command, and I'll show you that. So if I was to put a password on this device, enable in enable password, and I use the word Cisco, right? And I do the show run and configuration. You'll see a password. So the enable password is clear text. This is what you call clear text. There's no service password encryption mean allow clear text on a device. Do not encrypt or hash the passwords. So when I come here and I do the service password, I'm really about to service password encryption, and I do a show run. Now, when you see that enable password, it's type 7 and it's encrypted. And then you don't see the word no in front of this anymore. So that's what that is. And then, like I said, before, this device had no configuration because you can verify the interfaces didn't have any, well, this interface does. So it's not a default configuration, but there's no passwords here. If you don't see anything here, then you know that you don't see all this, like the default gateway. There's no IP addresses, no configuration on the interfaces, no passwords. Then the device should be wiped. But on the switch, you also have to verify the VLANs. So you do the show VLAN brief. And understand, if I do this erase startup config, the next time I reload this device, it will have a blank configuration. But the issue you will see on the switch, if I do a show VLAN, the VLANs will still be there if I was to reload this device, but the device will be completely white. So when I do this show flash, this VLAN.dat, this stores your VLANs. It's a totally separate file than the startup configuration. So what I want to do is delete VLAN.dat. Boom. And now when I do a show flash or dir, that file is going to be gone. When I reboot, the VLANs will be deleted. So that's that. And actually, let me try something. Let's try something right quick. Copy, start, run. Not present. You know why? Do you know why? Because we just deleted it. Copy, flash, start. Boom. We'll just reload it. Cool. And now let's go back to this list. Loopback. I wonder if that's loopback interface. CDP. I'm about to get out of here. We went through most of this. We went through most of it. We went through the login already. We just didn't go over CDP. I'll go over that the next time. But I hope that helps you, Musa. And good luck, bro. If you got questions, reach out to me. And I'll do my best to, share what I know. Will do, bro. You helped me out a lot. Yeah, much love, family. Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. Holla at me on LinkedIn, bro. I'm going to do some shout-outs, then I'm up out. You did good collabs. James Mosley. He said your channel is such an inspiration to us all. I went to Cisco Live this year, and it's mind-blowing, the knowledge. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks, James. I appreciate that, family. Let me get on here. Class says the old-fashioned. Yeah, TFTPD 32 is good as well. But I mainly use that as a TFTP server, though. Oh, Larry said he just accepted a new tech job, but had a vacation scheduled prior to the offer. It's with my wife and daughter, and now it's non-refundable. How do... Yo, I got to answer this before I go. Hey, Larry, you still on the chat? Let me know. If you still on the chat, let me know. And if you are, I'm going to answer that. Oh, I missed that. I was wondering. You were talking about... Let me find it. Thanks, bro. I'm going over... Don't forget with standard ACL. Hey, that's a good point. So standard ACLs is number 1 through 99. And they can be named. That's a good point. I should have said that as well. But hopefully he goes to my Twitter post and he'll see that. So I hope that helped. Okay, so Larry, before I'm up out of here, I want to answer this question from Larry. Because this is actually a good question. And this may be something someone else is dealing with. So... Let me find it again. All right, so Larry said he just accepted a new tech job, but had a vacation scheduled prior to the offer. It's with my wife and daughter, and now is non-refundable. How do I tell the job? It's scheduled 3 weeks after I start. Interesting. I have only spoken to whom I assume would be my supervisor at the time of the interview, close to 2 months ago. Since I've only been in contact with HR in HR remote, not in the same office I'll be at. Thought I would be in contact with someone from the office I'm assigned by now, but I haven't. I will contact. Okay, so like my new job. When I started this, right, my wife was pregnant. So the first thing I let them know is that, hey, you know, my wife will be delivering soon, and you know, I'm probably going to take a couple of days off. And they're like, okay, cool. And it was simple as that. But it turns out, like, from that, I found out that I was able to take paternity leave. So, like, when my daughter was born, I was off for a month. Like, this was a blessing. I didn't even think I qualified, but I was able to do that. There's been a bunch of time in my jobs where when I started the job, I had a vacation or I had a pregnancy with my wife or something's going on, and the best thing I found to do is just to be honest and say, hey, I got this vacation scheduled and it's non-refundable. I would like to take this time off. Now the issue you may face is that when it's time for that vacation, you may not be able to like get paid for it. So if you could save money now on the back end to say, all right, I got to take this vacation and I'm probably not going to be able to get PTO or use PTO, or I'm only going to have a day available or PTO, that's something you're going to have to be prepared for. So what I would do is type up an email, contact HR and say, hey, I'm really thankful for this offer, but I have to let you know that I have a vacation scheduled for blah, 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 and I wanted to give you a heads up in advance because it's non-refundable. And I don't know if you have vacation or PTO available, but I would just like to prepare for when it's time for that vacation. You know what I mean? Because it's non-refundable. And if you don't really want to to miss that vacation, let them know up front that, you know, this is what you're doing, and give them the option to say, okay, while you still have a job, to say, well, there's nothing we can do, or you'll be able to prepare for it if they say, no, you have to work, or if they say, yeah, you can work. We'll still hire you, but you won't be able to be paid for that time. You know what I mean? So don't wait till you get there and be like, I would go ahead and let them know in advance. That's just my opinion. Hey, Ken, my dog, much love, bro. I'm going to text you, man. But I'm going to be up out of here, man. I've been on here for 2 hours. I hope that helped you, Larry. If you did, let me know before I'm up out, bro. And I'll be praying for you while you go through that process, because I know how that can be stressful. But I'm sure that they'll let you go on that vacation. You know what I mean? Ruben, what's popping? Jerry, what's popping? Configure a router fell over setup. A router fell over setup. HSRP? Let me know in the chat, Jerry. What technology are you talking about? Good cloud, you're using someone else's computer. I see, will do. Seems to be general consensus in the chat as well. Thanks, fam. No doubt, fam. Much love, and I'll catch y'all later. Like, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Super chats are appreciated. All the information that we discuss will be in the description, and I'll catch you on the next one. Much love. Enjoy your Sunday.